Hi, beautiful souls. Today I'm taking you with me on my morning hike in the Italian Alps. I'm actually very close to the Dolomites. I don't know how you pronounce it correctly. And I was planning on making a video about this topic, like the topic you can read in the title of this video. And then something unexpectedly, very surprising, happened yesterday evening. And it inspired me even more to make this video. Because yesterday evening, I suddenly received, for the very first time in my life, a hate email. I've never ever experienced this before. Like, I never even really received a hate comment, maybe once on my Dutch channel, but that's been almost 2 years now since. And the mind can get triggered a bit when you receive something like that, because it was full of assumptions about me, using some personal stuff that I've shared in previous videos, like to use it against me and to point towards me with the finger, and saying how fake I am, how I'm lying, that I'm not acting from integrity, and that I just do this, like tell certain things, to get money from people. I think it's better that I sit down while recording this video with a beautiful view. I'll show you. Okay. Like after 5 minutes or so, because I also responded very quick to this email. First, I wasn't planning to do that, because why would I? Why would I be focused on that? But I felt very sorry for this person. I felt compassion for what they actually felt inside that made them write this hate, sending this hate to me. Because I freaking know how painful this journey can be. Of course I do. And I sent so much love to them. And after an hour or so, I felt so grateful for this email. And this email is a very extreme example of how our fear-based energy runs the show in our daily life, is influencing our thoughts and our feelings. And I can imagine, and it's okay, I've been there too, of course, that certain people are here on my channel, they are subscribed or not, they are just coming back to watch some videos of mine, because I've mentioned sometimes things about my physical union, about my DM, and that's the one reason they actually follow me. Why? And I'll come back to something else that I want to refer to around making videos as a twin flame on YouTube. But these people, and that's okay, like I just said, I'm not here to judge, I've been there too, are very attached to my 3D circumstances, to my story, because it gives them hope. It gives their illusionary thought and idea of a romantic outcome, it gives them hope, confirmation. I did this too. I was like a few years back looking for content and videos of actual evidence that twin flames can be in a relationship, that they can end up together. So you are so focused on this idea and not focused on yourself. It's easy to long and to desire for this, especially also because you've consumed so much twin flame content and information, and there are different perspectives and point of views on this, but it has very much to do with like the certain phase in which you are on your twin flame awakening path. So there are people here, of course, that follow me for that, and not here to actually receive my message, to take responsibility and courage to actually change their awakening journey, to be responsible, to recognizing their soul again, because it's all about a soul recognition. But when you are attached to just my personal things that I'm sharing, and you get confused because sometimes I say something different than I've said few months ago, you are keeping yourself stuck. You are here to stay in the mind and into the desire of the other person, and I don't want that for you. Like, I'm really here to change that. And one thing that you have to know about me as a person, as Eva, is that I can be very spontaneous and very authentic in my videos, and that I can change in the things that I've said before. And I think that the people who are or who carry pain around trusts can get very triggered by this, because one day I said this, and then the other day I say something else, or it seems like I changed my mind, or that I'm lying to people, that I'm making up these stories. But like, it's not the point. My personal circumstances in the 3D, my personal story is not the point of this. Don't hold yourself onto this. Don't compare your story to my story. Because one thing that I've learned a lot during helping other people on this awakening path is that there is no one size fits all when it comes to the 3D circumstances on this journey. There's one thing that we all have in common, and that I'm here for, actually. There's one thing, one truth that we all like come back to, and that is unity consciousness. That is remembering what you actually are. Realizing that separation is an illusion created in the minds. And how this activation and inner union unfolds for you in a 3D realm can be so different compared to someone else's journey, to my journey. You can't follow me because of the fact that you've heard me saying some things around my own journey and my circumstances related to my divine masculine. Because physical union and the DMs that stops running, that chooses you fully, is not something that your mind thinks it is. That's the danger of this journey. You have your own assumptions about this journey, and you project them to what you see online, to what you hear from other people. You don't actually listen to the truth. You don't actually can be objective. That's why I'm really here to bring you back to your own compass. That's one of the biggest intentions also of my online course Inner Union Activation, which is in a discount right now in July and August. I'm not here to tell you exactly what you have to do. I'm just here to share you what helped me a lot during my own journey. And I want to give you the same experience that I started to feel 2 years ago now. this experience of inner union, of peace, of truth within, of realizing that no one is going to save me, no one is going to do this for me but myself. You are the one. Not your DM, but you. Your DM is just mirroring the facts that you are the one. And now back to the topic of this video. I can imagine, because I've said some things in my previous video, and this video was coming from a place of so much purpose and aliveness and passion within me, and it triggered some people. Because I've said something like that I prefer my purpose above my DM. And of course I do. Like, you should. Why? Because your purpose is literally the expression, the remembrance of your essence, of your existence here on planet Earth. It's like full devotion to yourself and to unconditional love. And preferring this above, above my DM, that's still, how can I explain this correctly? Once you come back to self again, and you are more and more living from this place of self-realization, of listening to soul and being guided by soul, you'll realize that this desire to be in a romantic relationship, especially with your DM, comes from a place of separation, comes from a place of ego. And I'm not saying that there's something wrong with that. That's just part of being human. But you are here on an awakening path. And you can't go back to the way you lived your life before. You can't approach life from your small self any longer. You become very aware of your energy and how this functions, and from which intention, from which energy you actually feel certain things. You have the urge to do certain things, to why you desire certain things. Your perspective on jobs changes. Your perspective on society in general changes. Everything. And also on romantic relationships. That's something that I've seen with clients. That's something that I'm still currently navigating through as well. And why is that? Because soul wants to be free. Soul doesn't want to be put in a box. And questioning the romantic relationship template that you are used to before your awakening, and that is still a certain energy, a pattern within you, is so common once you start to integrate and embody and anchor inner union, remembrance, coming home to self. All that you want is be free, is peace, is live from a place of soul. And it will be very confronting when, as a response to your energetic shifts, and the DM returns and starts to see you, not at the beginning they just come back to test you, but the more you balance and you bring the energy back to yourself, and you don't give into this egoic desire of romance, of wanting to be chosen, of wanting to be loved, wanting to be seen, the more they will actually see you. And it will also bring back the ego. Of course, although you've been anchoring inner union and embodying this more deeply in your daily life. But it's harder when they return and you anchored inner union. Because it will definitely bring back old patterns within you. I've mentioned this in my video around why it seems like your twin flame doesn't change while you already made big inner shifts. Applying this into the 3D realm, that it takes a lot of courage, and it can be challenging, but they are there to help you with that, to help you to shift, to come back to remembrance. And you don't have to believe me. It's actually very dangerous if you hold on to my personal stories and some snippets that I've shared from my personal life. You don't have to believe me that my DM stopped running and that he chose me, because that's not the point, like I just said already in this video. It's not the point. That's not the reason why I made this channel, why I'm making these videos, why I'm helping people, why I created my online courses and services. There are so many people that I know about that beautifully shifted into inner union, and they also started to create this content. It's not about like this concept again of you can only help people once you are in physical union. No, because that's not the point of this journey. If you come to self-realization, if you feel these beautiful inner shifts, you start to remember again. Everything becomes so crystal clear. The suffering dissolves more and more, and it makes space for the truth. Of course, I can recommend you, if you feel the urge to do this, to help people as well. That was like my first ever intention once I started making videos in my own language around this. I was only shifted into inner union for a few months then, and I already started making content because I wanted to help people that got or are still stuck in pain and confusing and suffering, because it felt like I had the answer finally. I had some solution. And one thing that I've been navigating through, and I mentioned this in a video that I made in April, I think, around why I don't share much about my physical union, and that is that this romantic relationship template doesn't serve my soul, and I still have patterns that arise when my DM is very close to me and very vulnerable and beautiful to me. That this label of being in a relationship and acting like girlfriend from, this arises, and it feels so uncomfortable for my soul. It doesn't feel right. And at the same time, there's this man that chose me, that would fight for me, that acknowledged me. And maybe your ego would think like, why don't you go for it? Because my perspective on everything changes, including this romantic idea. And I can still get mirrored this by him while I'm stepping back unconsciously into this old pattern again of a romantic relationship. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel as truth. Truth is that love and freedom can be equal. That's unconditional love. And I've experienced this many times for the last last 2 years, almost 2 years, that it can be the same. Then that there's unconditional love, that I don't have to put myself in a box. But this pattern arises sometimes. It still does. And I know that I've said that I want to make a video with my DM. I'm not saying that I won't do this any longer. I'm just being honest about my own inner processes as well, that a bigger purpose is born through me. And that I started to doubt about making this video, because it doesn't feel like I have to do that. It doesn't feel like a guidance from my soul. It's more from a place of ego, and that's, again, there's nothing wrong about that, but if you feel the difference, you only want to make choices more and more from a place of soul, inner truth, unity, service, being in service to the divine. I think this message for today is, and I know this can be triggering, but let go of this idea in your mind of how a physical union can exist. Yes, of course, my DM is in my life, but it's not what your ego mind thinks it is. All I want for you, and all I want for this person that sends me all these hates, is that you feel good again in yourself, that you start to reconnect with your inner compass, that you feel love and compassion for yourself and life, that you feel the connection with everything, that you remember why you're actually here. I feel like this is a very chaotic video, and that I'm not really much talking about the topic that I had in mind, but it just can give you some insights and understanding on where I'm at this journey, and that it's not how your ego-minded thinks when the runner stops running, the runner chooses you, acknowledges you. When you can be in a romantic relationship with them, once you mastered separation consciousness and alchemize this more and more in inner union, and I'm still like doing this in other aspects in my life. That's the whole point of this awakening path. But I have to be very honest towards myself, and that requires the idea of a romantic outcome, of your ego that wants to have it a certain way, of how you consume a lot of information around this, and it's not going that particular way. Yeah, it's constantly being so real towards yourself, and allowing yourself to question everything and to come back to your inner guidance. Which includes questioning romantic relationship dynamics and feeling that you're not here for that. You're here for so much more. And this is just my path. If I focus more on the romantic relationship parts, I lose myself in it again. Not like I did 3 and 4 years ago. But yeah, in some sneaky small things I still do. And it's holding me back. And that's the one thing you don't want to do any longer. You don't want to experience that anymore. Losing yourself and the other person because you've been addicted to them. You've been obsessed with them. You've been obsessed with this perfect idea of a romantic relationship with your counterparts. You just become so deeply aware of where you are still putting yourself aside for that idea, for them. Just in small things. But it's holding you back. And it was holding me back for my bigger purpose, which I'm currently like navigating through, and which I'm feeling this inner fire burning it's choosing myself even more. And I want the same for you. I also have discounts on my balancing course and on my audio bundle, which is focused on the frequency of soul. And you can also decide to last minute jump in this one-on-one mentorship for 1 month straight with me. I have still one spot available for July, and this starts actually on July the 6th already. And I also have one spot left on for August. So if you want to have more information about that, I'll also link the page with more info in the description of my video. I love you guys, I really do. Thank you for your comments, even thank you for the hate. It helps me to step even deeper in inner truth. Thank you for being here.